Yes, sir.
Given that the best intentions of the government has failed to provide adequate
The government
housing...
has no intentions. Only people have intentions.
The best intentions among the people in power in government has failed to provide adequate housing for the poor.
Oh, go slowly. I never talked about the best intentions of the people in power in government. I talked about the good intentions of the people who promoted that legislation. Once you get legislation, the people who get in power in government are people who want power, not people who have good intentions.
Yeah.
That's a very different thing.
Though it's not really the question I had in mind.
Okay. We'll work our way around to it.
What I was hoping to ask is what specific policies you propose which would lead to adequate housing for all the poor.
Well, in the first place, you know, these are words that really have no clear meaning. Adequate housing for all the poor. Those are not definable words. What's adequate? What we now consider inadequate would have been considered a palace 150 years ago. It would be considered a palace abroad. I don't know if you all know the story about the movie that was made out of John Steinbeck's Grapes of Wrath. And it was shown during the war, or I think shortly thereafter, but I think during the war in the Soviet Union. And it had to be withdrawn because the people were so excited and interested about the quality of the clothes and shoes that the Okies going out west were wearing. It backfired. So adequate, poor, the average, the income which we now use in this country as a governmental standard to separate the poor from the not poor is higher than the average income of all the people in the Soviet Union. It's decidedly higher than the average income of most of the people in the world. These are not absolute standards, they're relative. So you have to ask a very different kind of question. What kind of system will give the widest range of people the greatest opportunity to make the most out of themselves, out of their own capacities, their own resources? What are the plans for doing that? I'm not going to try to have a program which will give adequate housing to the poor. I want to have a system under which individuals can have as much opportunity as possible to develop themselves, and in which other people can have as much opportunity as possible to help other people. And I say that system would be a system of essentially free enterprise, private enterprise capitalism with a very limited government. And in that system, you have in fact achieved higher standards of housing than you have through other methods.